Fún ẹ̀yin èèyàn tí ọ̀rọ̀ wa ò tí ì yé yín lórí liberation movement, ọ̀rọ̀ yín dàbí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹni tá a bá ní à ń kì í à ń sá ó lóhun ò mẹ́ni tó kú. Ọ̀pọ̀ ní ara àwọn members àwọn churches yìí káàkiri ló yẹ pé they are dying in silence, but element of fear ó ń jẹ́ kí wọ́n sá sẹ́yìn. Yet they claim that the Jesus they know that they don't want to live is very powerful. How sorry can that be? Ìyẹn ọ̀tọ̀. Kí n tó sọ nípa àwọn bàbá yín nínú Olúwa again, ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ sáré bá mi wo fídíò kékeré. Mò ń padà bọ̀ ná. Ẹ ṣé.
Okay, so tell us about this other boy. You said it's your biological son.
Yeah, it's my son.
So tell us about him. What happened? How did he get to this point?
Okay, so I gave birth to my son in 2018, and there was nothing wrong with him when I gave birth to him. My son was perfectly all right. Although when I gave birth to him, the doctor said, because he didn't cry much, the doctor said he might have birth anesthesia.
Okay.
So I don't know the meaning of birth anesthesia. So when the boy was still growing up, when it was about said that my son had birth anesthesia. I didn't know what birth anesthesia was. So along that time, I was always telling my pastor what's happening. Pastor was always praying for me that there is any spirit of birth anesthesia, go back and die, back and do this one. So until my son was 1 year and 4 months, he was walking. So that day, pastor now said that they reviewed something for him in the dream. I now told me something. I told him also that even before I used to dream something like that also about my son. And I said I should bring my son to church that day. That was how I brought. When I was entering the church, my son was sleeping, was walking. When I got to church that day, the pastor now said we should remove everything that my son was wearing, all his clothes. We should remove it. That was how I removed all my son's clothes, and the pastor gave him olive oil to drink. After giving him olive oil and applied olive oil all over his body, that was how this man carried my son. After he was praying, he now carried him and turned him upside down. Yes, carried him and turned his head upside down like this. That was how my son started having seizure. I don't know what seizure is. I've never seen seizure before. Even when my son was dejecting, me, I was thinking maybe it was the prayer that was working. Maybe when they are doing deliverance to someone. Because now one woman at the back now said that this is seizure. Before they carried my son, they tried making the seizure to calm down. The seizure did not calm down. That was how we went to hospital. Before hospital, we went to try calming the seizure down. They gave him injection. The seizure calmed down. They now said they cannot treat him. That we should start going to FMC. So when we got to FMC now said we should go and do some tests. After we did some tests, and I find out that because of the way he turned the boy upside down,
The way the pastor.
turned my son upside down, that water and blood have entered the brain.
That's what the doctor said.
Yes, now caused him brain damage.
Jesus. So this is how he deformed.
This is what happened after the incident.
So what did the pastor do after that? Did you report it to police?
No, I did not. After the incident, when my son was still growing up, after about some months, I took my son back to the church and I told him that, Pastor, this is what happened to my son. No, after you finish the prayer, though which you know, because when my son was in the hospital, he gave me 50,000 naira to help with the treatment.
Only 50,000 naira.
Only 50,000.
After damaging the boy's life,
he gave me 50,000 naira. He now said we should come back and do claims. That he knows the reason why what happened to my son happened. So me, I didn't go back to the church again. So it was after some years I went back to the church to go and show him this is how my son turned out to be. He now said that it was our fault, that he told us to bring the child for cleansing and we did not come.
So you did not arrest the pastor? What's the name of this pastor?
His name is Anthony.
Which church? Wait, the time you took him to the church that he did the deliverance, what's the name of the church?
It was a branch pastor of one of Assemblies of God.
Is he still a pastor in Assemblies of God?
I'm not sure. I don't know. Then he was in Lagos there, but I learned he relocated to the east.
So now, how about the father of this child? You guys married?
Yes, it is such a very sorrowful video in which we know that this boy, the biological son of this lady, will be in that position forever. Ọmọ tán bí tó normal kò gbé lọ sọ́dọ̀ pastor pé pastor lòun ríran. Àwọn pastor wèrè àṣírí tí wọn ò ríran sórí ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà tí wọn lè fi àdúrà wọn wá kọ́ òkè káàkiri wọn lọ káàkiri. Assemblies of God Church náà pé church eléyìí sìn yìí o kí lẹ́fàánú èjè. Ṣé rí ìdìmọ̀ tí a ṣe tán láti lo brain wa, there will be more victims. There will always be victims. Ṣé alórí wa ò pé ni? And unfortunately for so many of you, ṣé rí empathy ti wa ó ti tán because a ti lò a tún ti yá gan, a tún ti yá empathy, à ń jẹ gbèsè empathy bí tán ti ń gbà báyìí. Wọ́n ti sọ pé wọn ò yá wa mọ́. ẹ ṣàwà nìkan ni ìgbà míì a máa ṣe live video a máa mú mi lójú wípé ẹ̀yin èèyàn tí ẹ̀ rí ń tà ń sọ irú pásítọ̀ tó ṣe irú nǹkan báyìí tó bá yẹ pé ìlú tó lọ́ba tó níjòyè tí òfin múlẹ̀ ni ṣé ó yẹ kó sì mọ̀ ṣe pásítọ̀ nàìjíríà yìí lẹ ti ń ta invisible product Jesus tẹ́ ẹ tà débi pé ẹ fi ń ra jẹ́ẹ̀tì ẹ fi ń kọ́lé mọ́lé ẹ fi ń ti oríṣiríṣi nǹkan àwọn tó dẹ̀ ń sanwó Jésù yìí wọn ò lè sọ because tẹ́lọ̀ bá fẹ́ lọ even tailor iṣẹ́ tailor tẹ́ bá dọ́dọ̀ tailor á gbé kátálọ́ọ̀gì jáde pé ok àwọn iṣẹ́ tí mo lè ṣe lélẹ̀ and everything ọ̀dọ̀ bábà láyé ìgbà yẹn ara ògiri wọn náà máa draw oríṣiríṣi orí sí pẹ̀lú style wọ́n ló máa náà sí pé tí mo fẹ́ gẹ̀ lélẹ̀ wọ́n á dẹ̀ ṣe fún ẹ ọ̀pọ̀ nínú ilé pé tẹ́ bá fẹ́ lọ ra gàrí especially ní ìtì nǹkan tí wọ́n yìí almost agolo gàrí kan lẹ máa fi test gàrí yẹn pé ṣó kan ṣé ò lókúta mẹkáníìkì ò lè gbéṣẹ́ fún mẹkáníìkì tí kò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ẹ́ńjìn kankan lára ẹ́ńjìn mọ́tò nǹkan kan tí ò bá ṣe dáadáa ìmíì ń lù wọ́n ìmíì ń lu àwọn oníṣẹ́ ọwọ́ ẹ̀ tí wọ́n bá fún yín ní tẹ́ san sáfísìsì tẹ́ sanwó fún ṣùgbọ́n àwọn pásítọ̀ lélẹ́yìn sìn owó life service yín gan ẹ̀ ń sẹ́ǹdì ẹ̀ sí wọn wọ́n sọ fún yín pé nǹkan báyìí máa ṣẹlẹ̀ báwọn kìíní yìí ò ṣẹlẹ̀ rí ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ lè béèrè lọ́wọ́ wọn wípé ẹ̀dùn náà pásítọ̀ kí ni reason yìí nǹkan tí mo sanwó fún chọ́ọ̀chì náà ti máa sọ fún ẹ pé tó bá ń san tithe fèrèsé ọ̀run máa ṣí sílẹ̀ fèrèsé inú ilé ẹ̀ gan tátẹ́gùn bá wọ ọbẹ̀ wọ́n fọ́ọ̀sì atẹ́gùn yẹn ni níbi tí ó sì bẹ́ẹ̀ múlẹ̀ dé bí ẹ̀gbẹ́ṣu. How did we get here Nigerians? Please, we will not stop this fight. Ìwọ tó bá ṣe ìwà apologetic pé o fẹ́ máa sọ pé Mr. Rotimi àti gbàǹsìn ó yá ṣùgbọ́n ẹ̀kan mọ́ sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn pásítọ̀ tí ò dá rárá àwọn kan ṣì wà tọ́lọ́run ń pè tó dá mo rò pé orí gbogbo yín burú. Ó yẹ kí ojú máa tì yín ẹ̀yin kan tẹ̀ tó wá lórí láyà lórí ẹ̀rọ ayélujára ẹ wá foríṣiríṣi title sí evangelist doctor prophet ẹ wo kéèsì eléyìí tá a tó treat lánàá sìn tẹ bá mọ tẹ mo tún ti gbọ́ lẹ́yìn ibi live video announcing lẹ́yìn live video tá a ṣe lánàá yìí tẹ́ bá tún mọ tí mo ti gbọ́ ṣó yẹ ká mọ gbọ́rù nǹkan báyìí nínú tán pè ní àròlùwà ó jọgá tó kò jọgà tó àwọn wèrè tó ń ṣògo lórí ayé yín wọ́n ti rí òótọ́ tó wà nínú bíbélì ẹ̀ wọ́n ti rí i pé irọ́ ni because tí ó bá jẹ́rọ́ ẹ rántí àwọn mẹ́sẹ̀gì tán máa fún wa nígbà yẹn nípa ìjọba ọ̀run nípa hell tó bá jẹ́ lóòótọ́ ni èyàn ò fẹ́ ní ju mọ́tò kan lọ tó yẹ pé wọ́n wá kó ọrọ̀ ayé yẹn jọ at the expense of àwọn tí òòrùn jẹjẹ ẹ wo ohun tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sọmọ yẹn ń sìn ẹ lọ wò liberation movement is just starting gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá máa join wa ẹ join wa nítọkàntara ká mọ iye àwa tá a dúró fún ìjà yìí láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà mo tún padà bọ̀ Nàìjíríà màmá announce déètì tí máa wọlé ẹ wá pàdé mi ní airport tí máa gbà wọlé máa sọ fún yín èmi yóò sọ fún yín ẹ má wulẹ̀ ṣe yọnu kẹ́ ló lórí ibu nìyẹn ẹran ayáda sásìn yín wá tí n bá ti ń kúrò ní airport tán tẹ̀lé mi kẹ́ ohun tí ó ṣẹlẹ̀ ẹ̀yin olùṣe olórí burúkú yìí.